Yesterday on the channel, I made a video talking about Rachel Zegler where I was saying she's essentially just someone who regurgitates everything that she hears around her. She doesn't necessarily mean all the stuff that she says, or maybe she does, but she's just kind of an empty vessel, just absorbing what people say around her, and she just kind of repeats that, not necessarily thinking about what she's actually saying. And I believe that's pretty much a large part of Hollywood in general, because most of the people living and working there are people who, just kind of have a living where they just say what other people write for them and don't necessarily have to make any real decisions on their own. But every once in a while, you'll get someone who within the Hollywood system who is a bit of an outsider, or someone who will actually speak their mind and kind of go against the grain of what is normally the appropriate thing to say within Hollywood. And that's where we're getting to the subject of today's video. This coming from Deadline. Sydney Sweeney calls out Hollywood industry's women empowering other women stance. All of it is fake. And this is something that I think most people could understand, or most people could pretty much knew intuitively, that Hollywood is just a very fake place where people will say stuff and kind of give platitudes to certain causes, make them kind of virtue signal it, but they don't actually believe it. They're just saying it because they think that's what they're supposed to be saying. Sydney Sweeney is calling out some people in the Hollywood industry who tear other women down privately while publicly proclaiming they are empowering women. In a new interview, the Immaculate Star cited the industry's attitude of women empowering other women as untrue. And I think that's something that we've all seen many examples of in the past, where women within Hollywood will say that they're all about empowering other women, but when push comes to shove, they don't actually do anything. And we have plenty of examples of basically the exact opposite, where you have Ellen DeGeneres, for instance, who kind of puts on this whole nice person demeanor, but behind the scenes with a lot of her female staff, she's reportedly a horrible person to work for. You have Gwyneth Paltrow, who is been described as a predatory feminist who will basically create a beauty and health products or something like that, as kind of like a snake oil salesman sort of thing, basically preying on women who want to better themselves, knowing that all the products that she's pushing are just full of crap. Natalie Portman, she famously said that she wants more women in directorial roles and other creative roles like that, but then people called her out because her own production company doesn't actually hire women for those roles anyway. So if she really believed what she was saying, then she could actually do something about it, yet she doesn't. And I think that's kind of what Sydney Sweeney is basically calling out. I mean, she's talking about attacks being thrown at her specifically, but it is kind of a general thing within the whole entertainment Hollywood industry. It's very disheartening to see women who tear other women down, Sweeney said in an interview with Vanity Fair, especially when women who are successful in other avenues of their industry see younger talented working really hard, hoping to achieve whatever dreams that they may have, and then trying to bash and discredit any work that they've done. Yeah, and I think a lot of this just has to do with the fact that, as a general rule, women are catty and jealous of each other, and that's might seem a little bit misogynistic or whatever for me to say it. I don't care. I mean, a lot of this is even just stuff that my wife will say, that no one hates women more than other women. And when they see another woman being successful, I don't know, for some reason, it's kind of their goal to try to tear that other woman down. I forget what comedian I heard this from. I remember hearing it years ago, where he made a joke basically saying when men see someone who is very strong and capable, other men will be like, you know what, that's someone I should emulate and that's someone I should follow. When women see another woman like that, they're like, we need to tear that person down and knock her down a peg because, I don't know, they see her as competition or something like that. She continued, this entire industry, all people in say, is women empowering other women. None of it is happening. All of it is fake and front for all the other ish that they say behind everyone's backs. Sweeney noted that there are so many studies and different opinions on the reasoning behind it, and said that it's a generation problem to believe only one woman can be on top. I kind can understand where she's coming from with their maybe in the past there was more of a competition when it comes to women within certain industries, so they felt like they had to knock everyone else down. But the way things are now, there is more equality in the system. Actually, in some industries, women actually get preferential treatment. So the whole thing where you have to tear people down isn't necessarily the case. There's one woman who can get the man. There's one woman who can be, I don't know, anything, she said. So then all the others feel like they have to fight each other or take the one woman down instead of being like, let's all lift each other up. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm just trying my best over here. Why am I getting attacked? Yeah, so that's pretty much her response to this. And a lot of this is coming from attacks that she got a couple months ago or so from a producer within Hollywood who was basically trying to, I don't know why she really had to make these statements about Sydney Sweeney, but she did for some reason. Earlier this year, producer Carol Baum said at an event that Sweeney was not pretty and can't act, adding that her film Anyone But You was unwatchable. Now, obviously, a romantic comedy, whether it's good or not, it's subjective. The movie was popular. It did really well. So maybe she's in the minority on that one. Romantic comedies aren't really my thing, so I can't really opine. I never watched it. Saying she can't act. Okay, that's also a matter of opinion. Saying she's not pretty. Well, a lot of people disagree with her on that one. But I don't know why she actually made these comments. Now, to be fair, I don't know if this Carol Baum is one of these female producers within the industry who has a penchant for saying like, oh, we need to empower other women or anything like that. So she could be someone who's like, oh, no, I'm not about all that stuff or whatever. And then she makes these statements on Sydney Sweeney. Fine, I could understand that. But it is true, though. This is a woman in a producer role who's been in the industry for quite some time now. And then for no reason, I think the catalyst for these comments, I don't think she was even asked about Sydney Sweeney specifically. I think she was just asked about the entertainment industry in its current state, and she basically used it as an opportunity to attack Sydney Sweeney. Maybe it was because this was the time when her movie was in theaters, so it was what people are talking about, but that kind of also goes back to the idea. It's like, well, saying it's unwatchable when it's clearly a popular movie where it's on your mind. It seems like, again, you're just kind of in the minority on that one, but whatever, I digress. There's an actress who everybody loves now, Sydney Sweeney. I don't get Sydney Sweeney, Baum said, according to the Daily Mail. I was watching on the plane Sydney Sweeney's movie, Anyone But You, because I wanted to watch it. I wanted to know who she is and why everybody's talking about her. I watched this unwatchable movie. Sorry to people who love this romantic comedy where they hate each other. Baum, who teaches at USC, continued. I said to my class, explain this girl to me. She's not pretty. She can't act. Why is she so hot? Nobody had an answer. But then the question was asked, well, if you could get the movie made because she was in it, would you do it? That's a very hard question to answer because we all want to get the movie made, and who walks away from the green light? Nobody I know. Your job is to get the movie made. I think when it comes to Sydney Sweeney, a lot of it, because like I said, I can't speak for her acting talent or anything like that because I really haven't seen a whole lot with her in it. I know her biggest stuff is Anyone But You, Euphoria, and those are things I haven't personally watched because I'm not the target audience for that. As far as her looks, well, a lot of people find her conventionally attractive, so that could be a contributing factor. If she didn't actually think that she's pretty, okay, well, she's entitled to her opinion, clearly from a different generation, but saying like, okay, why is this woman so popular right now? And I think it's really difficult to explain within Hollywood why certain actors make it and other ones don't. There's something that you hear, it's just called that it factor. You don't know what it is, but there's just something about that person that people enjoy watching. I think for Sydney Sweeney, it's pretty obvious what people like watching about her, but from what little I have seen with her, she does have kind of a fun personality about her, and she there is a self-awareness when it comes to her whole persona. I think she understands that there's certain, I'll just say, things about her that people enjoy, and she's willing to kind of ham that up a bit and play it up a bit in order to try to appease people. So there's a self-awareness, and I think people understand there's also that self-awareness that they enjoy, and that's kind of why she's so popular right now. Now, is there any long stay to having a career when it's built around stuff like that? Well, probably not, but you can still do really well for kind of like the short term. And you would think a producer like Carol Baum, who's been in the industry for decades now, would understand that, but the fact that she doesn't just almost seems, I don't know, kind of petty. But a lot of this, like I said at the start, it should be as no surprise to anyone paying attention that Hollywood is fake. And when people try to say like, oh, we're all about empowering and uplifting other women, it really is a dog eat dog industry out there. And why people might say the right thing publicly, behind the scenes, everyone is just stabbing each other in the back. And I don't really think there's any way to kind of get around that, because it's a very competitive industry, because there's certain roles that come up. Only one person can get that role, or studio is only going to hear one pitch for a movie or whatever. And then you're working against someone else, even someone that you might consider a friend of yours. So there's going to be a lot of this backstabbing going around. And I don't think that's going to change, but it would be kind of nice if people were just kind of honest about this is just how the industry is, as opposed to just being so fake publicly. But let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. And also, if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest entertainment news. And don't forget to click that like button and share this video out there, because it really helps out with the channel. Thank you.